Hi, I'm Yonnicka. Welcome to my world of design and creativity, where spaces come alive. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to create this beautiful tablescape that you see behind me. So, if you're ready to get started, let's dive in. So first thing we're going to get are our supplies. We have 2 pool noodles here. Pool noodles are a hot commodity and you can get them at the Dollar Tree. They're so inexpensive. And zip ties. Our zip ties are to make sure that we secure our pool noodles together. That way, when we start putting our florals in, we don't have any separation. Okay, we want to keep everything together and make sure that it stays there. So first we have to line up our pool noodles to make sure that they are at the same length before we start zip tying. Now I'll start by zip tying the ends. It's important to note that, of course, our zip tie is going to be longer than needed, but we're going to clip the ends of it to make sure that they are hidden once we start our florals. Now, this is the floral cutter, but I'm just going to make sure that we use something that's easy, that's sharp, and that makes your cut clean. There we go. All right. So now we're going to get our florals and start cutting them. So first, I'm going to start with the whites. I'm starting with the white flowers because it's easier for the base color, and then we start adding our colored flowers to make it nice and contrasting. Now it's for you to decide if you want to keep some of the leaves or you don't want to keep some of the leaves. In this case, for some of the florals, I'm going to keep some of the leaves, and for some, I'm going to cut them short. Now, what you also need to remember is when you're cutting the florals, if you're going to cut them at a shorter angle, it's good because you can easily just stick them in without worrying about anything showing. However, if you're going to cut them longer, for instance, if you want to keep some of the leaves, then you have to make sure you put them in at an angle. By it being longer, you'll have to angle it so that most of the stem doesn't show. All right, so we're going to put this one here, and then we're going to turn it so that our leaf kind of hides the pool noodle here. And then when you do that, you're going to also want to make sure that when you put more flowers on, it hides the stem, because we never want that to be shown or seen. Okay, so let's cut these and then we'll move on to our next color. All right, we have our dark blues. Now this definitely adds some contrast because we are using mostly light blue colors, but we want to just add a little more pop of color. So that is why I went with the darker blue, and I'll show you the light blue florals when we get to them. Now, some of these flowers, I got them also at the Dollar Tree, and some of them I got them from Michael's and from Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby is good because they always have a lot of sale in the wedding section. The wedding section of Hobby Lobby always has sales on florals, so it's a good place to get discounts and also to get beautiful arrays of flowers. And yes, I'm going to be using all of these flowers because we want our centerpiece to be full. We don't want to have any spaces that are showing. So we want to make sure that we fill it up as much as possible. And of course, we want to make a statement piece because it's for the center of our design. And look at our beautiful dark blues. And we're just gonna put these in between the whites and also at the top. And not to worry, even if some of them are sticking up, we'll find place to hide them with other florals, okay? And that is the reason why, if you want them to be less visible and easier to cover up, we can always cut the stems shorter, okay? And we just want to make sure we're hiding the entire whole noodle. Yeah, I'm gonna put another one here because I just think it would look so good at the front with this color. All right, here we have our light blue florals. And these go great with our theme. And once again, you can get these from Hobby Lobby. Oh, we have two more dark blue flowers that tried to escape. We'll add them in. And I think I'm gonna add this one here. Beautiful, look at that. All right, so as usual, we're cutting away our leaves and we're just taking the flowers off. The leaf is not directly attached to this stem, it's further down. So once again, we'll have to angle it to make sure that the stem is not showing. So in order to do that, we're going to have to maneuver through the other florals. So for instance, let's try here. We know that we can make our arrangements ahead of time. That way we don't have to worry about rushing the day of our event, but we can just take time to make our arrangement and we can know that the flowers will be preserved. All right, let's add these in here. And what I love about these is that it covers up the pool noodles great. So they're wide and therefore it adds a lot of coverage in places that wouldn't necessarily be covered if we used a smaller flower. So I'm going to make sure that I'm covering this as much as I can. And then I will add the filler of our last color. Or peach florals. And we're just going to do the same thing that we've been doing, cutting our flowers away from the stems and the leaf. And these, I'm going to cut it shorter. And these I got from the Dollar Tree as well. and the broader ones I will use and cover up the ends. Okay. All right, so we're going to add our peach florals to our pool noodle. We're just gonna fill in the spaces. Like I said, I want to add these to the ends so that we can cover up the corners of our pool noodle. And remember, you can always readjust your florals as you're adding new ones in, okay? If you feel like you want some to be shown more than others, if you feel like, well, I have a little more space here and I want less space, you can always readjust your florals. Looking absolutely beautiful. Look at that. All right, we have a few more and we're just gonna cover up the rest of the space that's showing on the sides or in the back. And we'll add one here. Let's cover up that space. This is looking beautiful. So amazing. And I can't wait to see what you design. All right, there we have it. Our pool noodle floral centerpiece. Now, do you think anyone would know that this is pool noodle? I don't think so. You guys would have done such a beautiful job. And then they're going to ask you, how do you do that? And they may even ask you, where do you buy it? And you'll just tell them, guess what? I made it. Gorgeous. Now we'll move into our table design. So now we're gonna get into our napkins for our table placements. Now I'm gonna make 6 place settings. So I'm gonna use 6 of each napkins. Now keeping in with our color scheme, I have blue and peach. So first I'm gonna open up the big one. Then I'm gonna open up the smaller napkin and set them aside. I'm gonna find the middle of this and of course just organically allow the napkin to fold onto itself. And then the same with the peach napkin. Then we're gonna put the tips together just like that. And then we're gonna take our napkin ring, and these I got at Party City. And there you have it. That's one table place setting. Now you don't have to let them all look the same way, but the goal is just to keep them together, okay? So open up. It's kind of like a flower, all right? And then we'll take another napkin and we can keep our hand here so that doesn't ravel out. And we open this one up, get the middle, kind of have it just fold over and put our napkin ring. And there you have it. And so we'll do this 4 more times, okay? And when we get them on the plate, we're just gonna fluff them a little bit so they can stay flat. okay? So not to worry. Now there are all kinds of ways that you can fold your napkins or just leave them how they are. Rectangular and square. It's all about how you want to make your design, to make it unique and to do something different. So now we get into putting our plates together. Look at these gorgeous plates. And our napkins. I'm going to make 6 place settings and then we'll put our napkins on. And now what we're going to do is add our salad plates on top. Once again, keeping with the color scheme. And then our napkin goes right in the center, just like that. Isn't that beautiful? There we have it. And now we're going to put our cutlery on as well as our stemware. But first, we want to put our centerpiece in. Now, the reason I didn't put the centerpiece first was because I wanted to show you how to put the napkins together and the plates. So now I'm going to add our centerpiece, put our cutlery together, our stemware, our candles, and let's see the finished product. And here you have it, our beautiful table scape. Can't wait to see yours. And I hope your guests really enjoy it.